Nathan,
Yes.
Ye-
I think sometimes you gotta be more specific on what you want to see on the videos because they don't understand like what I see is that they don't understand what do you mean like right now you say you want to see the rocket going from the non-pressure to the vacuum. I mean from the pressure to the vacuum, right? But in their head they don't. The way I see it, because or either I'm sorry for the word, are they stupid or they don't realize what is it that you want? And in my head I'm thinking like what you want to see is like for them to point you out where's the difference, like where the rocket transfers from the pressurized system to the vacuum, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
already conceded there is no vacuum, basically. It's just
I,
very low pressure.
There's just pretty pictures from space that say, "Hey, we're in orbit now, people."
exactly. So if
Well,
Apollo
I've
goes
reasoned
in,
it out. It, like, model-wise, it kind of works, but it can never work the way it really does on this Earth because gravity is not strong enough. Just can't hold the gas here.
Well, it's
That, like the
impossible.
gravitational
And I'll
pulls.
tell you for why. Because when you have the re-entry orbit, let's just say it's the re-entry, it can take up to 4 minutes. Yeah. Well, when they release the rocket and it goes up, they have like a 2 minute transition where it cuts out, and the next thing is in orbit. It makes no sense. It can't be coming through the atmosphere from outer space into the Earth's atmosphere and take 4 minutes to penetrate when it only takes 2 minutes to go out of it. And there's never the transition shown anyway.
now I don't know if Apollo realized this, but everything that he said it was just dogmatic stuff. Like he doesn't realize that all he was saying is there's no evidence, there's no proof of it.
Yeah, there's no continuity with a full launch, right? If there was a continuity that said, "Oh, this is the full launch, this is breaking through the clouds, this is going through the Earth's atmosphere," you can see the front of the rocket is getting very hot because it's leaving the atmosphere, so it's getting all that. It's got a heat shield on the front, so it's having to protect itself and all this. There's none of that. There's none of that. The rocket goes up, and the next thing it's in orbit. There's never the transition. Ever.
Yeah, but they imagine it.
Yeah. They imagine it in the brain.
They have
but
a
they
lot
never
of
see it.
examples on how to imagine it. And yeah, they just think, okay, yeah, it must be possible. We've seen it. I just don't get it. I don't know exactly why. And they're trying to figure it out, but it's not really working.
Want
'Cause they all get stuck. Everyone gets stuck.
You know the Tesla car that they're supposed to release, did they say it came straight from the factory floor and was placed into space? Is that what they said?
Oh, really? We're going to do this? The Tesla's like, for me, it's like an idiot test for the general public. How stupid are they?
There's something that I've noticed on it that's missing, if that's the case. I'm sure that he did say that it came straight from the factory floor and was put into space as it was, yeah? Well, it doesn't have a rear view mirror.
Maybe it's got a camera on the dashboard, rear view camera.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the rear view mirror. If it came straight off the factory floor, it would have the rear view mirror. And why wouldn't it have a rear view mirror?
But that's what I'm saying. Maybe the car itself doesn't have a rear view mirror is what I'm saying. Maybe instead it's got, because they're mandated by law now in the States, you must have a reversing camera. So it might be the case that they've just foregone.
No, I've got an image of it.
So it does have a rear view camera as standard.
A rear view mirror, yes.
But they've removed it for the one that's in space. This is bollocks. It's not in space.
Side view mirrors.
You know,
right?
Well, how difficult would it be for them to CGI the stars in the mirror as it supposedly tumbled around the Earth?
I honestly think they do things like that, leaving out the rearview mirror and saying that it's exactly as it would come off the factory floor, so that people can start talking about the continuity of it. But as long as you're talking about it being in space, you're talking about it being in space. It's the biggest load of hokum ever.
It is. I'm just going to send you the image, Nath, and you can. I'll just send it to you now, actually.
Okay.
Maybe we should talk
while
about
you're
it
doing
later.
that, I'm gonna start the next show.
I need to find the quote where he said it comes straight off the factory floor. Right, I'm
So
just
it's
sending
going to
that
be
image
a
right now.
spacey episode. Clearly, I've titled the show "No Vacuum of Space."
Right, I sent you the image, so you just have a quick look at it and just confirm.
On Skype,
Guys,
right?
it does have side view mirrors, so I'm just checking it.
So it's all right to reverse around a corner.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Apollo, Arwin, Ranty Flat Earth, Sleeping Warrior, SX, The Plain Truth, Love Wisdom, and is it Paul? Eric, my bad. Good to have you all.
Beep beep.
Morning.
I'm back, and I have a concession. Riley was right. I was wrong. The video I watched was apparently a faked experiment, because other experiments I saw videos of just now show the opposite. Show relative density rules.
Can you give a summary of what you're wrong about? Because otherwise it's going to be completely out of context.
Yes, no problem, no problem. I made the assertion earlier in my long rant in the last episode that if you pulled all the air out of a vacuum chamber and had a weight on a scale in it, the weight wouldn't change, which isn't wrong. It does change it. It gets...
of course. Air pressure.
Yeah.
Scales measure in pressure. That's the whole thing about them.
Mm-hmm.
So any pressure will matter, whether it be directional or in all directions.
Yeah.
Like gas pressure.
That wasn't really the... that wasn't... Oh, hello. I recognise that name. That guy's friendly. Don't kick him.
Hello. Good to have you. Is it Sam?
Yes.
Good to have you, Sam.
Thank you. Good to join. Is my mic working?
It is. It's working.
Is it okay or is it bad?
No, it's okay.
All right, good. This is interesting. Sorry, I just butted into your conversation. Carry on with whatever you were saying.
Put a bit of weight on since I've last seen you.
No,
you're a charmer. You're such a charmer.
I can't control it. It happens when you get to 40, and so you'll know about it soon.
So the reason let me just go back on topic.
Yeah.
Love, wisdom, harmony. The phrase I pulled you up on was when you said that in a vacuum chamber you said something about the density gradient either did or did not exist. I can't remember exactly your wording.
No, that's on a 0G plane. If you drop something on a 0G plane, there is no density gradient inside the plane anymore.
Yes.
You can see it in the experiments dropped in the plane. They all just go haywire because there's no weight.
Yeah.
Right, but that's not in a vacuum, though. Your comment was related to a vacuum chamber, right?
Yeah, that was my mistake, because the video I watched was a faked experiment where you just made the sound of the vacuum pump but didn't actually evacuate the chamber.
Huh.
Right.
I realize now how easily I was fooled by that stupid fucking guy, and I couldn't find the video again, so obviously...
Would be interesting test to go on the diving plane and test a vacuum chamber with like a rock in it, and then get it pumped and then yeah, do the downfall and see if it will just float within the vacuum.
Here's another reason why I think relative density is related to the laws of motion, is because the laws of motion also show relative density. If you take a board and put it on a fidget spinner, put two clear boxes on either end, there's an ancient experiment on YouTube with really bad quality of a physicist doing this. But you put candles inside, the flame is lighter than air and is rising, and it will seek the center when you spin it. Weights will seek the outside, seek to go out. From the perspective of the inside of the container, there's a pressure gradient in the container just from the centrifugal force, and it's oriented in line with the centrifugal force. And they call all this centripetal forces fictional forces. But that's what gravity is, a fictional force.
Huh. I remember that. Yeah. You really do know your physics.
No, I don't. I just watch the experiments. I have an astrophysicist friend and a robotic engineer friend, and I was a glober, and I went to my highest authorities of holy men on scripture, and they contradicted each other like, what the frick? And I used their arguments against each other, and they broke down calling each other stupid and uneducated and had to go back to school. I was like, oh, okay. And when I like revealed they were fighting each other, they like turned on me. But they showed me all the experiments. I wouldn't accept cool. Illustration.
That's a privilege.
I got lucky.
I wish I could see them again. I've seen some experiments. I was very young. And yeah, it's one of the things that make me love space and science and the scripture type, heliocentric type, when I was very young. And yeah, I wish I could see that kind of thing again. Just now with the more adult mind that I have now, right now, and all the knowledge and awareness. Because back then I was just a kid.
Seeing it all again is really nice. It's like seeing it with new eyes.
Yes.
The main reason I wanted to talk about this is because we have no physical way of creating a density gradient on Earth without a container. So we cannot create pressure without a container. And they're trying to claim that density gradient proves that we can have a pressure without a container, but we can't create a density gradient without a container.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And we can create all of this with known laws. That's why it's so like, and I think you know that Newton was an occultist, right?
Sure.
You know what that means?
Yeah, he was a Christian and an occultist and a devout scientist.
Yes, but an occultist is someone who hides the truth. There's two types of occultists, by the way. There's dark occultists and light occultists. The light occultists try to disseminate natural law through parables and other things that the public can accept without like revealing too much. That's what it looked like he was doing in the beginning. To quote him, truth is ever to be found in the simplicity, not in the multiplicity and the confusion of things. And that's what gravity just is. It's the multiplicity and confusion of things.
It depends on which gravity you mean. If you're going to go to the gravitational pull or the Einsteinian one.
Well, yes. I can debunk both.
I think you're making his point for him, though, Armin, by saying that.
It's actually a point I really want to go on to because the feather and bowling ball falling in a vacuum at an equal rate break Newton, but they already like don't care about that because they believe in Einstein now. So they say, "Oh, we did another test just a couple of couple of kilometers higher on the ground in another vacuum chamber, and it showed 9.7 miles per second. But that is a fake test never repeated. And every single zero-G flight ever taken debunks it. Because the required drop is 9.8 meters per second, regardless of height. And that destroys Einstein's whole theory. There's no bending space-time.
Yeah, it's constant.
Well, nobody knows that video is true, right? It's like the other episode where they show the laser on the boat, and I mean, we know they lie about that. So
yeah, Feather and Bowling Ball has Feather and Bowling Ball has been done all over the world, and 9.8 meters per second is like the average. They say, and then like if you go really high up on a mountain, then it might get 9.8 and 9.7 meters per second. But that doesn't fit with what they say. It doesn't fit with anything. It's just a scam.
It's squared per second.
Yeah.
I was thinking about weighing things at really high places. I think that because weight is basically measured in pressure, that at a really high place, just because of the lightened air pressure, that things might indeed, as including objects, just exert less pressure. Just because of the lessened air pressure. What do you guys think?
So what are you saying? The less air pressure makes it weigh less?
Yeah, makes things weigh less. Not because...
That's the opposite of...
No, it is practically less because the air pressure may add to the actual weight measurement. That's what I'm saying, with a simple scale.
That would be easy to test in a vacuum chamber.
Yes. Interesting to try.
Yeah, I think all tests are good to look at. Do all the tests. That's what I say. Doesn't hurt to know.
Right. Just as confirmation. Anyway.
That can be done in a small experiment, right? Like if you build a small vacuum chamber and then you weight a bowling ball outside the vacuum and then inside and see if there's any difference. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Without changing or resetting the scales.
I think it's gonna weight the same thing.
Well, I don't know.
I'd be interested.
It's probably gonna weigh the same thing, but I'm still curious. It might weigh slightly different. That's the point.
About a year ago, I was talking with somebody that uses a big vacuum chamber for his work, and he was looking into building a rocket engine so he could test out if thrust works in a vacuum. But I don't think he ever went through with it, with the experiment. But I can still contact him to see if he can put a scale in his vacuum chamber and weigh things at different pressures.
Excellent. Let's get on the experiments. Be interesting to see.
So, where were we? Are we all right going back to bashing some ballers, Nathan?
Well, we could talk about what I'm going to be doing this Friday. Have you decided to come yet?
Me?
Up to Barrow?
Yes. Yeah.
Too far for me, man. That's miles away from me, that.
Yeah. Okay. What about going to Wales then on the?
Hold on, before you get into arrangements, actually plug what you're doing because it's cool.
Okay, right. So yeah, last year I went to Barrow and I filmed Blackpool on the day that the illuminations came on. So I got there about midnight and started filming as soon as I got there. A lot of Blackpool had closed. You know, the piers weren't fully open and operational. The Ferris wheel wasn't open. But I did capture like things like the mirror ball. So this time I'm going back to recreate it. So hopefully I'll be doing a live stream if I can get a signal there from about 8:30 on this Friday. So a couple of days from now. And hopefully we'll be able to see the illuminations all come on at the same time, get the Ferris wheel, etc. And that should be live across the Irish Sea.
Any chance you can bring up the footage that you got last year, just so people can get an idea of what we're talking about?
Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. I'll be putting you on the spot a little bit, but yeah, take your time.
Yeah. And also the Saturday after, I'm going to Wales with the modified P900 and the P1000. So hopefully I'll be able to see the Isle of Man again, but this time with the modification, I should be able to see through all that haze.
What did you modify it?
I will be modifying it when I get the P1000, yeah.
I mean, what kind of modification?
I'm going to take out the infrared filter, well, the blocking filter that's inside of it, so that I can apply an infrared filter to the end of it.
Oh, cool. I was thinking you would do that. And so the images, how will the colors look then? Will they look all the same color?
Say again.
It's going to be black and white, right?
Yeah, I think it is in black and white, to be fair. But essentially, it's going to it'll give me a new arsenal to see further and break through the mist and the atmosphere. So especially where I live, because every time I go down to the sea, it's not always pristine conditions. So having that ability to see through that kind of atmosphere, it's going to be great, because I mean I'll be taking it all over the UK.
That's really awesome. So you will have to take off the lens and stuff.
Yeah, well, no, I have to open up the camera and I have to take out the lens. There's a blocking lens inside of it that stops it seeing in infrared. So when I take that out, I've then got to replace it with a clear glass placement that goes in place of where the infrared blocking thing was. So I'll put that in, put the camera back together again, and then I've got some infrared filters that I've already bought that I can put on the outside of the camera, on the end of the lens.
Awesome. Good luck.
Well, hopefully I can get it to work. Right, I'll just show you this. There's this one image that where are we? Where is it? Just had to bring it up now. So let me just scroll in on this, Nath. So this is what I captured last year, which was essentially the mirror ball over here. Here we have the mirror ball. Now that should have been gone. It should have been 170 feet behind the curve. Are you guys seeing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that should have been 170 feet behind the curvature of the Earth. At this time, the top of the mirror ball was 45 foot above sea level. The bottom of it down here was 25 foot above sea level at the exact time. I went and I remeasured it with tide heights and stuff. So essentially, when you look at this, that shouldn't have been seen. In fact, you could have probably put 4 of these on top of each other, and that would have been where the curvature of the Earth should have been. Now, we actually got Sean Hufford and Slice Barcane to finally analyse this video, and they both, in unison, agreed that this was the mirror ball. But then they didn't agree, or didn't show the audience that the curve calcs that would have absolutely blown their argument to smithereens. So I'll be going to try and see this again. Also, we'll be looking at things like the big one, which is here, the ice blast, etc., etc. So all this will be open, and I'm hoping to see this on Friday.
Just for those who don't know, the big one and Ice Blast are the name of the rides that are on Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Just in case you were wondering what the big one means, it's that roller coaster.
That's right, yeah. And in this part here, in this area here, between this gap is where there's like a big water park thing that's blocking it out. So that's why we're not seeing the entirety of the ride. It's called the Sandcastle. And this is obviously the building here. We are actually seeing some of the illuminations, which is here, in this part here. The reason we're not seeing the rest of the illuminations is there's piers that come out, and because they're not lit up, they're just causing a blockage across the whole promenade, because the actual illuminations are only set up to around about 12 or 14 feet above the actual the road, and the piers are like 20, 25 feet high. So they're blocking out all the illuminations. Although here we do actually see, even though you can barely make it out, where's it gone? Here. You can't make it out. You can barely see it, but there is a circle here. Let me just get off of there. There is a circle here, and that's where the Ferris wheel would be. So because I'll be going at 8:30 today, on Friday, I'm hoping this will all be lit up, and we'll have some people perhaps riding on it. We won't see them, but we'll see definitely the Ferris wheel all lit up. So that's the plan for this Friday.
Awesome.
And when you said that Slice Arcane wouldn't show the curve carts on screen, that's exactly what he did to me when we went in, and I went in with the assertion that Slice Arcane could not answer one question, and when I got to that question, he kicked me. Wouldn't show the curve calcs, kicked me. So they don't like them curve calcs when they're being used against them. No,
well, it took probably 10 months for them to actually analyze that image, and I had to do it from the side chat. And eventually they did all this calculation, and they did it by pixel. They got it down to like within a meter, right? And when they realized that it was dead on to the meter, that it had to be the mirror ball, they both in unison said, yeah, well, it is the mirror ball. Yeah, we never said it wasn't the mirror ball, blah, blah, blah. And I went, right, okay, well, can you do the curve calcs then? So then they started to do the curve calcs, and I'd already given them the height above sea level at the time, and they knew that what the top of the mirror ball was at that time, which was 45 feet. And as soon as they started plugging in the calculations, suddenly they went, no, well, we don't even know what elevation you were at, Aranti. We, sort of like calling me a liar again. And I'm like, mate, I had a video of my tripod in the water, literally in the water, with a flashlight showing you where the camera was, and me taking images from the water. There could be no doubt that I wasn't telling the truth. So, but that's just what they're like. They're disingenuous.
Andy in chat says the piers are lit at night. Obviously not on this occasion, Andy, because if the piers were lit, we'd see them.
And to be fair, right, okay, let's suggest that the piers are lit, right? Okay, let's just say that the piers lit, right? Firstly, who's to say that the right type of light to travel across the water? Secondly, who's to say which direction the light is? I'm looking at it from the back side of the piers. So although I am sort of like looking across the way, I'm not actually facing the piers. I'm not seeing the front of them where all the lights would be. The lights would be facing into the town and away from me. So regardless of what you say, the images is there. I put these images up on my Google Drive 10 months ago. The next day when I actually took the images, they've been up there, unaltered, undoctored, ready to download in the original format, right? This is what it looked like. This is what Blackpool looked like at about 12:20 in the morning, or 00:20, last September the 1st, I think it was. So
yeah, and that's the one thing that I'll be going back to redo. I'll be doing the Hoylake to Blackpool Tower from 31 miles away, 29.7 miles away. It should basically all be behind the curve of the earth. That's the one that Conspiracy Cats wanted to do. I'm not sure he still want to do it now, but he'll be invited and he can see it for himself, and then he can explain how it is that we can see it, and he'll not have an answer.
And anyway, and then the following Saturday on the 8th of September, so I'm hoping to get the P1000 on the 6th, which means that I'll probably do the live modification of the P900 on the Friday evening. That'll be a bit of pressure, I tell you, doing a live stream, trying to modify that. But if all goes well, and even if it doesn't go well, on the Saturday the 8th, I'll drive down to North Wales and hopefully try and film the Isle of Man from Llandudno.
Do you reckon we'll see Isle of Man from St. Bees, Ronty? 80 miles. Not Isle of Man, Ireland.
Ireland? What, with the modified P900 or
yeah.
the P1000? I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on, there's a very narrow angle, isn't there, at that distance? But the thing, because I was at Great Orme and I was at 322 feet and I looked across to the Isle of Man, I saw the entirety of the Isle of Man. I mean, it was from one end to the other. There was no mistake in it. And I did actually capture some video of it. I've put it up on my channel about 2 weeks ago. But it was actually the entirety of the Isle of Man. And I've got measurements there that say that we were seeing down to at least 200 feet above sea level. So everything above 200 feet, I could definitely account for in the image. Curve calcs would say that 1,400 feet should be missing, right? 14, I mean, it was, you know, it was ridiculous curve calcs because it was a long, long, long way. And what I actually captured, I mean, as soon as I saw it, I knew I was seeing all of it. And luckily the camera did capture it. So with the obviously it was struggling to focus though.
Yeah, you need to learn how to do focus lock, Ranty.
No, it wasn't that.
Yeah,
it was.
That's what it is.
The P1000, sorry, the P900 with the modification on it, so much better.
Mate, you need to learn. I'm going to show you how to do focus lock, and you have to lock it, leave it there, and then it'll never do that hunting thing where it's looking for focus. It won't do that anymore.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing on the 8th as well. So you're welcome to come down. I can pick you up on the way through if you want on the 8th. Go down to North Wales.
Me?
Yes, you.
Possibly.
Yeah, get yourself out and do some stuff.
Excuse me.
Are you bringing your PC over anytime soon?
I'll probably bring it over. Yeah, I'll probably bring it over at some point. Great. What's next on the agenda anyway? That's what I'm doing for the next couple of weeks. But what are you guys up to? You think we're going to find this rocket leaving the Earth's atmosphere and transitioning into an orbit around the Earth? Apollo?
No.
Yeah, I did find a video about it.
Perfect.
Oh, let's have a look.
Sure. I would have.
Is this the one that you were looking for before?
No, another one.
Nathan, what was the video that he was looking for before?
Me? I wasn't looking for any video.
No, not you. Apollo. You were asking him how's he getting on looking for that video, and I don't know if we missed the point or whether it's been dropped or whatever.
No, I got his point.
I think Apollo says that he has a video.
On from launch to orbit.
Yes, without any quotes. Yeah.
I just clicked away on my tab, so I will have to find it again. Take off.
Nathan, do you want to poke the bear? I can see you poking the bear by text.
What, Red Rhetoric?
Yeah, give him a good poke.
Yeah, got Red Rhetoric in one of his many sock accounts that he likes to troll with, rather than actually using his primary account. Gives himself away with the phraseology he uses, the way he talks to me, calling me his bitch, which is basically all that Reds does. I like the compliment, but it doesn't really work. You know what I mean? It works on Red, doesn't work on me. So just
there's an open link there, Reds. Why are you not in here telling us that we're all wrong? Anybody can join.
So it's an insecure projection on his part.
So yeah, so the backhanded compliment that got Red here in the first place was to just steal his dumb fuck of the year, and that's what we would call a backhanded compliment. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Of course, that sucked Red right in.
So who is the current dumb fuck of the year, Nathan?
Oh, I think it's the Rumpus, isn't it?
I do believe it is. For his many nonsense quotes claiming that he's been to space. What a moron.
Claims that you can have matter leaving a closed system. Claimed that on the last show in the chat.
Nathan, I've just sent you a file. It's Conspiracy Cats telling everybody that we do have an open system because we lose matter to space every single day, apparently.
Excellent.
Makes me wonder where we get all that matter back from to be able to sustain life if we're losing matter to space every day. It's basically he's basically pushing the point that the vacuum of space sucks off the atmosphere, but he dilutes it significantly by making it to be at the atomic level.
I would rather see that assertion happening, you know? the losing of what is it? Pressure? Constant pressure?
I can play it if Nathan wants me to jump back on Skype.
Yeah, do you want to jump back on Skype and play it? Because I can't. Just
no problem.
It's a self-perpetuating system.
It sounds like they're saying the Earth is shrinking.
You're on.
Okay, so for those of you that are in any doubt, the definition of an open system, according to virtually every single source out there, is the ability to exchange matter with the other system. So in the case of George, he said that a thermos was a closed system in the short term because it can't exchange matter, but over the long term, because it loses heat over the long term, he claims that makes it an open system. It doesn't. It makes it an isolated system thermodynamically, but still technically, mechanically speaking, it's still a closed system. But listen to what Conspiracy Cat says.
Now, what I'll add, though, is that a very small proportion of those atoms will have enough energy to escape the Earth's gravitational field into the vacuum of space. That does happen. We lose atmosphere to space every single second.
So, according to Conspiracy Cats, because of that reason we lose matter to space every single second, it means that we're an open system. It means that we cannot be a closed system. So it goes back to the idea of, well, where do we get the pressure from? How do we get a pressure if it's an open system? Is there any evidence to support? Is there any evidence to support that assertion? And of course, tumbleweed, we just get obfuscation. But the point still remains, if we lose matter to space per day, every single day, the way he says, how's it being replaced? And how do we get a pressure if it's an open system? Entropy would remove it all because it is a thing, apparently.
Yeah, it's an open system. It was never in doubt.
How many millions of years has this Earth supposedly been spinning in space?
And it has to be self-perpetuating.
And of course, if it is self-perpetuated and it is spinning, then all the densest gases would be centrifuged to the outside, and it would be them ones that are lost to space. It wouldn't be the thinner ones, the smaller ones. It would be the bigger ones, the fatter ones, because of the centrifuge. Just another hole in the heliocentric model that they all ignore.
You want to jump back on the Hangout?
Yeah.
The heliocentric model is like a woman. You never know how the hell it's going to behave.
Depends on the situation. Tube Tinkerer says, Tube Tinkerer in the chat says, we are all your bitch. Well, thank you very much, Tube Tinkerer. Speak for yourself, I would say.
So did we watch that video then of the transition of the rocket?
No, that's what we were talking about.
Not
earlier.
yet.
Okay.
There isn't one. You know, no matter how hard you try and find a transition shot from the gas pressure to the vacuum of space, there is no such thing. The same applies to the return. You won't ever see the transition from space to the gas pressure of Earth. You won't see that.
What about the Falcon stage that returns? Doesn't that count?
You tell me. Feel free to show us.
I'm not sure at which height it returns, so I wouldn't be able to say right now.
Just go and have a look. Just check it out. You know, feel free to prove me wrong.
Well, I think Red's Rhetoric has the best one because it's uncut or something. But somebody said that there weren't any videos from launch to orbit. Who asked for such a video?
Sorry, was that a question? Sorry, I didn't. I was paying attention to something else. Sorry.
I'm hard to understand. Sometimes I rephrase my sentences because I notice that I mispronounced something. But I think somebody said that there weren't any videos from launch to orbit, and he would like to see a video of it. Can I put that up or not right now?
Whatever you want. Go ahead.
Okay, let me.
I want to see this.
Okay, I'll share my screen. First, I have to check if there aren't any, stupid things on. Yes. Okay, that should be sharing. So we start at the launch pad, and I've set the speed to double because it is quite a long video. Can I play off it or shall I?
Yeah, stick it on. Go ahead.
Okay. We shall go full screen. Okay. Remember, this is 2 times the normal speed. This is the Antares, Atlas V launch.
I can already see the fisheye lens effects.
Hang on, why is the ground not moving due to Coriolis?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Globe Earth debunked.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Arwine, it does have a fisheye lens, but it isn't for that. This is for something else. From launch to orbit. It isn't about, how do you call it? Proving the Earth is a globe, I guess. This is just a video.
So this is where it's starting to change direction and sort of like go almost horizontal now.
It's not yet. You can still see it the same.
No, it's still got still the camera's pointed straight at the ground still.
And there's the fisheye.
Check that out. You're already seeing the ball Earth. Amazing.
You can already see how the pressure is decreasing because the rocket thrust is spreading out more. And now you can see it is tilting. I mean, it has already tilted, but you can see it's more pronounced now.
Sorry, what? Explain what you're telling me I'm seeing.
Oh, you can see how it has tilted because this landmass isn't. It is curved. I mean, sorry, it is stretched out because you are tilting, because the camera is tilting in relation to the landmass. And we are
lots of gas being left behind.
Yeah, you can really see how the rocket thrust is spreading out much more, like you saw in the in one of the Falcon 9 launches, where you saw how the gas spread out.
Sorry, what's happened? What's happened? Hold on. What's happened?
It has moved to another camera.
Why would it do that?
I guess because
sorry, do you want to just go back 20 seconds? Let's just see that again.
Yes,
Let's see it again, please. Back. So we're about to see the transition to space. I was waiting for it. I was all excited. And then what do you know? There's an edit. Don't talk over me, Apollo. Shut up. So, this is
Nathan.
Edited. Do you see that edit, Apollo?
Yes.
What's going on? Why would you need to edit it?
Camera cut.
Why would
because they are cutting to the part where the stages detach.
Oh, really?
They shouldn't do that.
Well, it looks different now. That looks different. We've just had an edit. So this is not This is not a full transition from Earth to gas pressure to space. It's an edited video.
Well,
what do you mean, no? Sorry, do you want to go back another 20 seconds and I'll show you the edit? Don't say no to me. Hold on, everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. Why did you just tell me no when I said it's an edited video? With this bullshit CGI now. Can you go back to where the edit was, please? Back. There we go. This was from the ground. And then, wait for it. Bam! Edit.
Yes.
Right. So, why would you need to edit it?
Maybe because the stage is detaching, they can no longer supply power to it, and the camera loses electricity.
Convenient.
It's also possible.
It's NASA, bro. What are you talking about, man?
Sorry,
it's also
Apollo.
possible.
Apollo, why are you defending this? I asked for a transition shot into space. We haven't had it. We've got an edited video.
Okay.
Not okay. So, are you going to say this doesn't show it because it's clearly edited? Or are you now going to tell me that they are in space? That this is now in space, coincidentally after the edit? What kind of shit is this?
Well, we're already in space. It is just
Oh,
camera
really?
at the
So, when we were seeing the gas, yeah? That was in a vacuum, was it? Suffering the vast effects of the lower pressure system when we saw that gas prior to the edit.
Yeah, you saw the engine thrust spread out.
So it wasn't being dissipated into the vacuum of space instantly as you would expect with entropy. We were seeing the gas coming out into a different gas system. So we didn't see we did not see a transition into space, and then we had an edit.
Hey Nathan, I don't think I saw a lot of gas escaping explosively when that compartment right there on video has been detached, and you would see that.
Travis, can you pop yourself on mute? You're clicking.
See, I see water droplets. Now that exhaust is pushing out air, but I didn't see any decompression-like effect.
Well, yes.
That's very suspicious, don't you think?
Why are we still getting more edits? So this is an edited video pre-prepared by NASA. Suitable for human consumption, right?
Okay. Well, I guess it isn't inedited then.
It's not okay. So you've
It is
asserted
not
that this
okay.
would be
Sorry,
a proof
Nathan.
that we go from the gas pressure to the space. And what we've got is an edited video with what looks like blatant CGI now. This is blatantly CGI, a layer. This shit in the foreground is just a CGI layer. Quite blatantly.
Okay.
Not okay.
So,
no, it's a blatant deception. You think we have the vacuum of space. I've asked you to find a very simple transition from gas to space. And you've shown me an edited video with CGI. This is CGI.
I'm sorry, Nathan.
You should be. Yeah, this doesn't back your assertion. What I've asked you to find, the transition from the gas pressure to space, you won't find, as I asserted. This is the kind of crap you'll show me. Edited videos.
But you did see how the pressure decreased.
Sorry, I don't want to hear anything more about this crap video that's edited. It's edited. What else did they do in the editing studio? How the hell would you know? You don't, because you're not in the editing studio, are you? So you've got no idea what they did when they edited that video. You've no idea what came after. You've no idea. It's an edited video. So they can put together whatever narrative they like in their edits.
But you can see...
No, I can't see. I saw edits. Stop telling me what I see. I did not see a transition from gas to vacuum. Now I've got crap CGI and you're telling me what I can see. I see CGI layers.
I see.
Yeah, me too. I see CGI and lots of edits. Garbage. Not a transition from gas to space, which is what I asked for. Total fail. Why would it be that I would be sitting here in total confidence that that was going to happen? Why would that be, do you think, Apollo?
Because I didn't expect you to not accept a simple switch from one camera to another.
Sorry, why would we need to have one camera to the other? Why do we need edits when I've specifically asked for a transitional shot, not from one camera to another? That's not what I asked for. Those words didn't cross my lips. Please, can you show me a video that transitions camera angle? Those words didn't cross my lips. Transition from gas pressure to space. I said nothing about transitioning cameras, but it seems like they do that anyway. Now, I was absolutely confident that you would not find that transition, and you have not. Now, you're trying to tell me what I see in the edited video you've provided. My question, why would I be sat here in total confidence that I will obliterate whatever video you present here, Polo? Why would that be?
Because you are confident no such video exists.
My confidence, what, sorry?
No such video exists, yes.
Yes, that's correct. I am absolutely certain of it. You can go away and spend 10 years looking for a video of the transition between the open-closed system you believe we live in that defies the second law of thermodynamics, defies entropy, into the region of a place nobody's ever been called outer space. Now, given that you have a religious belief in this, and you cannot demonstrate gas pressure without a container, I would expect if it's asserted that man-made objects can go to escape velocity and then release themselves from the magic of gravity, I would want to see that, not an edited video.
You want to see something in orbit with a... You want to see
No!
something in orbit.
Are you deaf? I said it 9 times to you. You even repeated it back to me once. I want to see the transition from the gas pressure that we all experience into the fictitious fantasy world of outer space that you have a religious belief about. The transition being not one camera to another, but from gas pressure to vacuum of space.
Would a video from a telescope count?
Sorry, would that be transitioning from gas pressure to space?
It would see a transition, but it wouldn't be transitioning itself.
So that would be a no then, would it not?
It would be.
Right. So why would you ask?
Because I wanted to give another option. Because
right, I'm not giving you any options. Right, number 11. Yeah, I've said it about 11 times to you. Yeah, you believe there's a region beyond the sky called outer space. That region you have never been to. I have never been to. No one on the panel's ever been to. But it is doggedly asserted with video footage, with edits, that it exists. Now I ask, can we see the transition from gas pressure to vacuum of space? So far, 2 shows, no joy.
Unfortunate.
Not unfortunate, just bullshit. Space isn't real. You can't have gas pressure next to a vacuum. It defies the second law of thermodynamics.
I see.
Yeah, you should see, but you still believe in space, don't you?
Affirmative.
Yes, that's because you are a religious zealot.
Well.
Yeah, that's what religious people do. Doesn't matter how much evidence you put in front of them that contradicts their faith, they still have their faith. You haven't shown me anything that demonstrates we can have gas pressure next to a vacuum. Nothing, but you still believe it. That's a religious faith.
Okay.
Fine by you, but you're here telling the world and my audience that we do have space. So you're here doggedly asserting your religious faith to my audience.
I was hoping I could provide the video you asked, but unfortunately not.
Yeah, you hoped, you had faith that you would find it, because obviously that's what you believe. So of course you're going to be able to find it because you believe it's there. Me, I'm sat here in total confidence you'll never find it. That's why I asked, why am I sat here confident that you won't be able to do it? And when you say I've got something, I say, put it up! Let's show everybody, knowing full well that it won't demonstrate the transition from gas pressure to vacuum, from the bit we know to the bit we don't know.
Apollo, do you think you'd be able to find it over the next day or two?
No. I don't go out. Well, I will be at work tomorrow in the next few days. So
Okay, over the next month or so?
Yeah, sure. I will have another go at it. I will ask someone that works in the aerospace industry if he has any of those videos.
Well, shouldn't you be asking it for yourself as well? Shouldn't you be alarmed that there is no video footage of this? You know, does that not alarm you enough to just go off your own back and say, I need to investigate this?
A bit, yes.
And wait, other than just a video, should it not include telemetry data, exactly where it's passing from this and everything corresponding? I mean, a video in and of itself, partial evidence, but it needs to correspond with telemetry, data, measurements, exactly. Yes, it's transitioning. So a video firecracker going into space, CGI, I mean, it can't be just a video.
Yeah, you can receive telemetry on the radar signals yourself to.
Okay, make sure they line up. Make sure they line up with the. This is the telemetry. This is the measurement. This is the distance it is from the Earth, and might need that as well. Just my 2 cents.
Yeah, that would be cool to line up with a video.
Would be cool. Would be cool. Yes.
Yes.
Good luck. Good luck.
If video were enough, the movie Gravity would be enough. It's not. You can easily fake this shit. I've had Globers try to argue that Wolowitz from The Big Bang Theory went to space.
What? You're having me on?
It's amazing.
Apollo, can I ask you a question?
Of course. I mean, that's why I am here. So naturally, go on.
You obviously have a heavy accent and you're not a native English speaker, which is okay. Where are you from exactly?
I'm from Mars.
Oh goodness.
I saw it in a video that I came from Mars, so that's evidence.
Okay. So you don't want to share where you're living?
I live in the Netherlands.
Okay, Netherlands. Very good. What evidence do you have that, other than an education system, is there any biological evidence that makes you a member of a country?
There, I'm on the chat. I'm on the fucking hangout.
Hey, don't
I'm
swear.
on the hangout now. Am I red?
Hello? No need.
Am I red?
No, you're not.
Do I look like red?
No, I concede. You're not red rhetoric. Don't swear.
What's going on?
No need. Hey, was not was.
So, the point I'm trying to make, they lie to, we have this ovarian lottery. We're born in a certain country, most likely into a certain religion, and with this
biological. No, I do not think the country you are born in. Well, it might actually, because if you are born in a country that's very cold, then your body will react differently to a country that's very hot.
Okay, you're talking about geographical environments. You're not talking about political imaginary lines on a map, which is usually flat, by the way.
Affirmative.
Okay. So what makes you Dutch? What makes you American? What makes you, other than being told that, what evidence do you have? What scientific evidence basis do you have for nationality?
My, how do you call it? Certificate of birth says I was born in the...
Piece of paper.
Yes.
Okay. So is that scientific? Is that actual science based, or is it just a piece of paper?
It's an accurate record of an event, my birth.
But is there something biological? Is there something scientific that makes you Dutch or English or whatnot?
Well, people.
Wait, no. So wait, no, right? You said no. Did you say no or yes?
I did not say no. People in the Netherlands are.
Do you have scientific biological evidence that indicates that people are biologically American or Thai or Japanese or whatnot?
People in East Asia look different from people in European countries.
Okay, I'm still not talking about gene pools. I'm talking about nationality.
No.
Citizenship.
No, there is no difference between citizenship itself.
Okay, so there's no scientific evidence that proves I'm a US citizen, or that you are Dutch, or that Nathan is English. Yes or no?
No.
So you've been lied to since birth. Yes or no?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay,
so maybe. At least you can see that. Now, is it too far to speculate that not only would they lie to us about our citizenship and our religions, if you have one, but also about the nature of the earth we're living on?
I do not see how citizenship is correlated with the shape of the earth.
Because it's where we're supposed to living and who we are. It's about who we are, really, and where we are, really. Or a fantasy.
Well, I live in the Netherlands. That's a scientific fact.
Ooh. Wait. There's a science behind the idea of the Netherlands.
Do tell.
Is the dirt in Netherlands vastly different from Belgium?
What makes it Netherlands dirt?
Didn't understand.
Excuse me?
Can you repeat your question, please?
What are the scientific differentials between the natural reality of Holland and, say, Belgium?
Our cows look different. We have windmills, more windmills. How do you call it?
Just give me the scientific evidence that supports your citizenship, please. Biological, genetic, I don't know, something. Can I have the scientific evidence for your citizenship?
I'm sure you can trace back my family tree down.
You're talking about gene pools. You're talking about genetic traits that makes people's hair black or blonde or eyes green or brown or whatever. I'm talking about citizenship. What is the evidence for it? What is the scientific evidence that makes somebody Dutch and not? Excuse me?
Countries are, how do you call it? The space between countries, the bounds.
The boundaries, the borders?
Yes, the borders are, of course, a human construct most of the time.
Okay, so they're not natural. They're not based in nature. Thus, real science, right?
There are borders in nature, but not like we got them.
Okay, so aside from stopping human beings at the border between Mexico and the U.S., do the animals, do the butterflies, do the flies, do the weather patterns all cross the borders freely? Yes or no?
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of them. Oh, goodness gracious. See, this is what we're dealing with the ball religion. You're not dealing with just a spinning ball earth. You're dealing with a belief in authority.
Well, on a flat map, map there are countries as well. So I don't think that's going to change when we realize the Earth is flat.
Land masses or countries? I don't see any flat Earth maps proposing political maps. I think I just see land masses.
Some people use the United Nations map for the flat Earth.
There's no borders on that map. There's no line on the United Nations map. There's no line between Canada and U.S. and Mexico and the thing we call North America. There's no.
Oh yeah, there isn't.
Right. So it's not a political map. It's a global flat Earth map, right?
Well, political things are going to remain, whether the Earth is flat or not. And there are maps that represent, maps made hundreds of years ago, that represent a flat Earth that show different countries. I'm sure those exist.
How would you define slavery?
When you are forcing somebody to work for you and you aren't paying them. I would say that is a pretty good definition for slavery.
Just working. Why would you class it just as working? Slavery can be a whole multitude of things.
I guess it could be.
There are wait. So if I make you work for me and I pay you 0, you're a slave. But if I make you work for me and I pay you 1 cent a year, you're not a slave. I mean, what's this number? Where's your cutoff point between slave? How much do I need to pay you where you're not a slave?
Another definition could be when you put somebody in a position that they have to work for you, otherwise they won't be able to sustain themselves even a little bit.
Kind of like how we live in, kind of like what we have right now.
This is all judicial stuff. This has nothing to do with science.
Well, his science is he still doesn't accept that maybe he's being lied to.
Yeah.
Hard to wrap his head around the fact that we're surrounded by so many lies in the education system, not just the nature of what we're living on. He doesn't want to concede that he has no evidence for even his citizenship, other than he was told so.
I see your point on the citizenship part, but that's just the way it is. We have countries with borders.
It's the judicial system.
Well, I think that's part of it.
That's what enforces it. That's what makes. Yeah, that's what laws are based on dealing with that.
The dark occult create dichotomies for people to fight within. That's what government is. That's what money system is. That's what the political system is. It's all the same system.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on here, but unfortunately, I have to get going. So, bye everybody.
It's been a real pleasure, as always. Thank you, Apollo, for taking our, stern words. You're a real sport.
I knew. So you can...
See you again, Apollo.
See you later.
That might actually be my opportunity to round out, unless anybody has got anything they want to add.
Nope.
Not really.
Nope. Well, with that... Was that somebody piping up? No? Yeah? No? Tumbleweed. With that, I will say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. Extra special thanks to Apollo for being such a good sport. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!